Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and we're going to talk about why Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition absolutely destroys your favorite indie game, and why it's a global intellectual property, and your Five Torches Deep, your OSE, your Shadowrun 6th Edition really don't matter that much, right? And just why Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition is so dominant, okay? So first of all, it's huge, and Dungeons & Dragons really huge, and a lot of people hate that, or especially you hear a lot on Twitter. People are just so frustrated that Dungeons & Dragons is still on top, right? And I think one of the reasons why Dungeons & Dragons is still on top is the problems it's had, right? And what it's had to go through to get where it is. Because a lot of people claim Dungeons & Dragons doesn't deserve to be the most dominant tabletop role-playing game on the planet. Not even close, right? But it does deserve it because of the problems it's weathered, right? So I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he had on, an American champion, Snoop Dogg, right? So Snoop Dogg gets up on there, and he says, and he's lamenting the loss of Biggie and Tupac, right? And he's like, and he showed Joe Rogan these videos of Biggie and Tupac rapping against each other. Even then, it was a rival, right? And he's like, look at the love they have for the art, for the craft. It didn't have to go down the way it did, all right? Now, here's the problem, okay? I think there's a problem with what Snoop Dogg's saying, right? Because here's the problem. Snoop Dogg's sitting on top of a mountain of money, and that mountain of money was generated by the love people have for rap, okay? Now, I'm going to explain why I think rap really succeeded, and if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. I know rap is a deep subject. I'm a rap fan, by the way. DMX, Mos Def, Dr. Dre, Eminem, them's my peeps. Actually, Post Malone. I think Post Malone is a rapper, and I really like him. So those are my favorite rappers. Okay, all right. So here's the issue, right? Snoop Dogg comes out and goes, "It didn't have to go down the way it did," right? But here's the problem: Snoop Dogg is a globally known, celebrity, right? He is a globally known celebrity because people really liked rap. They like rap from the rap started in 1973 in New York, okay? And here's the kicker. Biggie and Tupac said, hey, this music is coming from the street, and our connection to the street is real. And this music is born from pain, suffering, and there's some anger in the mix. And it is real. It is not performative, right? Now, a lot of rappers are saying the same thing today, right? But here's the issue. Both Biggie and Tupac were dead before they were 30, right? Like, when they said they had beef, that beef was extremely genuine and extremely real, with impacts that could not be denied, right? And here's the kicker. Snoop Dogg is sitting on a mountain of money that was fueled from the idea that when rap said it was genuinely connected to the street, genuinely connected to, to suffering and anger, that was legitimate anger over legitimate wrongs that had been done, right? That was very much proved very practically by Biggie and Tupac. Nobody could say they were fronting, or that their connection to the street was performative, or their suffering or their connections to legitimate anger were performative. It was shown to be quite real, right? Like, and the beef between them radiates out to this day, right? It went through the music, and it went beyond the music, right? So rap has real problems, right? And so when you come at rap, right, and you say, oh, I don't think rap is a great art form, I'd much rather listen to Taylor Swift, people are going to go, no. Those two, Biggie and Taylor Swift ain't in the same league, right? Biggie's art was born of pain, right? Taylor Swift art wasn't born of pain, right? Like, there's a difference between rap and pop, right? And that's where Dungeons & Dragons lies. That's where Dungeons & Dragons lands, okay? Oh, you want to hear what Dungeons & Dragons, what problems it weathered? Dungeons and Dragons, before it was even a decade old, had people saying you are aligned with Satan. What? Like, wait, what? You know, like, that was harsh. The satanic panic was real. Dungeons and Dragons weathered it. Okay. What else did it Dungeons and Dragons weathered the loss of its creator 14 years into the product. Came out in 1974. By 1986, Gary Gygax is severed, right? Dungeons and Dragons weathered the loss of its progenitor company, TSR. Gone. Finished. Right? Nowhere to be found. Okay? All right. What else is it weathered? 4th edition. An edition so bad it opened a gigantic gate for Wizards of the Coast's greatest competitor, Paizo, right? You know how long it took to slay the dragon of Pathfinder? It's slain now. Nobody care about Pathfinder now, right? You want to know what Pathfinder creators are doing? Making everything they ever built for Pathfinder compatible with 5e. Done. Over. Like, you know, one's in the dirt, one's above holding the banner up, right? Dungeons and Dragons defeated Pathfinder fully, but there was a shockingly short minute where Pathfinder was outselling Dungeons and Dragons, right? These are real problems, right? And so your indie game, like your game over on the side, right? You know, 5 Torches Deep, OSC, Index Card RPG. You know, there's so many of them out now, right? Like Fate, you know, the Dresden Files, you know, game, and even a lot of the licensed stuff, right? The reason why they don't even have a fraction, they have the merest fraction of Dungeons. What is the problem your indie game had? You were late on a Kickstarter? Call of Cthulhu? Right. You missed some. You missed some. You know, some stretch goals, like, you know, or let's see, you know, like maybe your print run was delayed, or maybe there's a misprint in your book, right? What are the problems your favorite game has actually weathered, right? Are there scars on your game? There's scars on Dungeons & Dragons, man. That thing has gone through the fire and come out forged, right? But your little indie game, what has it weathered? What has it gotten past, right? And that's just not the case with Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons stands above, not because it got lucky, not because it's held by a global, company. It stands above because it is better, right? And it has weathered actual problems, right? And just like rap is far better than pop will ever be, right? Dungeons and Dragons remains king of the hill, right? And it shoves down anybody that comes for it, and it protects what it's got, right? And I think that's the reason why Dungeons and Dragons matters, and a lot of these indie games just don't, right? Now, I'm not, just like the rap game, okay? If your indie game really wants to come forward, it's got to represent, it's got to do true innovation, it's got to defeat, it's got to slay the dragon. And you're absolutely right, right? Like, indie game comes with a sword and board, right? In Dungeons and Dragons, it's got 2 flapping wings. It's got a breath weapon. It's got claws, and it's got a tail that'll whip around and spike you right through your breastplate, right? So, you come for the king, you best not miss. Indie games really need to step up, right? And I just don't like seeing people say that Dungeons and Dragons doesn't deserve that King of the Hill, gravitas that it has. It does. It has weathered the storm. Now, if you think I'm wrong, and you got a game out there that has actually put in the work, that actually has had some losses, some suffering, right, that has weathered the storm, let me know. But right now, I'm looking at the indie games. The worst they got is they missed a Kickstarter date. Like, that's not a real problem. Like Dungeons and Dragons weathers some real problems that are connected to the nation. Here's another one: COVID. Right? Like, Dungeons and Dragons has actually grew during since March 2020. That's real, man. That's real, baby. So that's why Dungeons & Dragons remains King of the Hill. It is not an undeserved title. That crown rests firmly on the Dungeons and Dragons game because it earned it, and it earned it for 47 years. And if you think you got any game that that deserves to have more glory, that deserves to make sure that no one tests its glory or questions its glory, let me know, and let me know the problems that any other indie game has really overcome, right? Well, that's my opinion. Love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.